Hello everyone, this is me Rishabh. Welcome back again to my new podcast. So today's our guest is Mr. Devans Lakhani, and basically he is a CA, chartered accountant as well as a content creator. So let us have an interaction with him. Let us talk to him. Let us know about his journey. Let us know about his company. Hello, Mr. Devans. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good, Rishabh. Thank you for having me here on your YouTube channel, on your podcast. Thanks a lot for calling me.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming and giving your precious time. So, sir, little bit, can you introduce about yourself? Like, can you say something about you?
Very quickly about something about myself. As you very rightly said and introduced me, I am a chartered accountant by qualification, and we are basically, we run this firm called Lakhani Financial Services,
Okay.
which is based in Mumbai, and with currently a team size of around, 5 people currently. Sorry, six
Mhm.
people. So sorry. We are six people right now, and we are essentially working with startups. We are a boutique investment banking investment advisory firm, wherein we are helping startups to, help them connect with investors and raise funds for them from our network of investors. We work with startups from start to end of their fundraising journey. We help them to prepare their business plans, their pitch decks. We have a 3 month mentoring program wherein I personally mentor startups, for 3 months, young startups, which are trying to make a mark or trying to get some traction on board. And then obviously, we connect them with the right set of investors. We do the valuation. We negotiate on their behalf with the investors and try to raise funds for them from our network of investors. So we are completely into this startup ecosystem and working in the startup ecosystem inside out and with early stage startups and trying to do what we can do best for them, help them grow their business, help them improve their strategies, help them raise funds, whatever that we can do that we are trying to do for them.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir. Like you introduced, you gave a very lovely introduction about you and about your company. So, like today's all our topic will be on startups, okay, and on investing. So, sir, can you explain about your journey that when you started your company, okay, and about your journey? So, how you got to know these things that we will work in the field of startups and all.
So, thank you for asking this question about my journey. So basically, after I completed my chartered accountancy, I was working in this a good mid-size, stockbroking company, investment banking company, so to say, as a equity
Mhm.
research analyst and in corporate finance. And it was a very good exposure that I got because I was, leading a team of 4 to 5 analysts under me and I was reporting straight to the director. He had a lot of humongous amount of experience in the stock markets, in investment banking, in fundraising, etc. So I got to learn a lot from that. I got a lot of skills to how to talk to people, how to lead people, how to understand what the team requires, and how to also do efficient reporting to my seniors. So I learned a lot of these softer skills also apart from the basic, doing the research and all the technical aspects. So that's how it was. And then in 2018 January, I started my own firm, Lakhani Financial Services, and we started with a lot of retail investment advisory, like mutual funds and stock market portfolio advisory, portfolio management, etc. for retail and HNI clients. And slowly, steadily, we got into the investment banking space, wherein we did certain fundraising on the stock exchange, on SME stock exchange. We did around, one IPO, one right issue of 10 crores each. We did one block deal on the stock exchange of around 35-40 crores. So those things we did, and eventually we landed up in the startup ecosystem around 18 months, 16 to 18 months ago. Because we used to get a lot of referrals from certain friends and people who knew me. Okay, if you're raising funds for larger companies like SME companies, why don't you do that for startups? So in that process, I started getting some referrals and some leads about startups. So started understanding that there's a huge gap where startups are not advised correctly on the financials, on the investment modalities, on business planning, etc. So we
Mhm.
started getting more work out there, and then we started going more deep and deep into that particular business. So that is what we started doing, and right now here we are over the last 18 months of this part of the business, like the startup advisory part of the business, wherein we've done 4 deals of funding, approximately 1.1 crore, and some of them lower ticket size deals also. And our fifth deal is also undergoing right now. That is also underway. Hopefully, that should be closed in the next 1 month. I can't reveal a lot about it, but it's a very, very exciting startup. So that is what we've done. We've been doing. We've worked with over 50 startups, and currently also mentoring 5 startups. I am personally mentoring 5 startups right now. So yeah, there is a lot of humongous amount of scope in the startup ecosystem in India, and that's where we want to create that dominating space out there, and be try to help as many startups and as many founders in this ecosystem from the work that we are doing.
Okay, thank you, sir. Like you explained your journey very well, okay, and about your companies. Okay, so how they think, do the thing. So, sir, like my question is that how you help or how you get connected with the startup and with the investors. Like your own self do that, or you are working as a broker between like investor and the startup.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. In layman's terms, you can definitely call it as a broker, as whatever things. In little bit professional terms, you can call it investment banking. That's how we like to put it in little bit more professionally. So we call it investment banking, investment advisory, and we are the advisors who play that bridge. We play that bridge between the startups and the investors. We try to connect these two people and try to make a deal out of something. Try to create a win-win situation for everyone. That's how value is created in the ecosystem. Wealth is created in the ecosystem. You try to create that win-win, and that's what we are trying to do. With the startups and with the investors also.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir, for like your very valuable reply. So, like my question is that because nowadays everybody is talking about startup. Okay, you will see most of the person want to go in the field of startup, or a lot of people invest in startup. There, everybody is talking about startup. So, sir, what do you think? Like, what is the future of startup? Like, is because nowadays you will see in COVID that startup is not doing that much well. So, what do you think? What will be the future of startup as seeing the current scenario?
No, so I would not say in COVID startups are not doing startups are not doing well. There are quite a few startups that are doing very, very well during COVID, because actually those guys have actually raised the bar for the traditional companies by implementing very, very good technology, and that kind of technology has really made the traditional or the orthodox system really much better than what it was in the same industry, where there were problems, where there were gaps. Say for example, education, from a complete brick and mortar school kind of a system, we've shifted to a online education kind of a system, where so many startups, in fact Byju's has become the largest company, the largest startup that is there, and many other edtech startups that are there. So there are multiple examples like this. Same with agri-tech also, same with things in probably what do you say, sports tech also, for that matter. There are multiple industries. Gaming has become so big right now.
Yeah,
Huge sector advantage gaming has. So there are multiple startups which are changing the landscape of the ecosystem of the industry, and all the bigger players, like the traditional bigger players, they are really on the hunt that which startup is doing well from their sector, so that they can probably even pick a stake into that startup. So there are multiple companies, big industries, big companies that are looking at such startups, to probably acquire them or to buy a stake in them, etc. So that is what is happening right now. That is where the whole change is happening. And this technology is playing a huge role. It's playing a huge role. So definitely, right now times are tough. I will not deny that on all practical levels, times are definitely difficult. People are, and hence people's jobs are also getting lost. People are losing their jobs. People are getting frustrated with their jobs because they are really, wanting to do something which burns the desire from their heart. And that was not happening pre-COVID. Right now, during COVID, I think many people have been able to, introspect within themselves as to what they want to do with their career, what they want to do in their professional life, and how they want to, take it forward. They just don't want to do that 9 to 5, 9 to 7, 9 to 8 kind of job. They want to really do something which inspires them and which creates that burning desire within them. So that's really very inspiring stories when I listen to founder stories. And in fact, today I was on a call with one startup in the morning. Uh, they are basically, one of the founders is based in US. So he just told me when we were closing the call, I was just understanding it was our first call with the founders with that startup, and they're doing something in India, in Pune, and in Maharashtra. They're going to start off with something in the parking space, car kind of technology space. So that the founder who was in US, what it was 2 a.m. out there in the US, 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and he was on call with us. So what he told me is that the daytime is to pay his bills, and the night time he really works with this startup so that he can do something for his own desire and for his own passion. So, the way it's done, like, how much to just keep slogging your, all your life just to pay the bills, to do something which he actually burns the desire within him. And that is nothing better than an entrepreneurship or a startup. So, people are definitely getting into it at a very, very large scale.
Okay, fine. So, like, we are talking all about startups and all. Okay. So my main question is that which are the startups which gonna bloom in future? Like, what do you think that which are the main startup which will bloom in future? Because nowadays you will see a lot of startups are coming up. So which are the few 2 or 3 startups which you think will be blooming in future?
So I will not be able to say any names because there are many, many startups. Like, I can't really pinpoint okay, this startup will, so this startup will. So names are difficult. But yeah, a couple of industries where I feel, yes, there is a very, very good scope, a very, very, brilliant scope to actually take it ahead is something in gaming. I feel gaming is one very, very big sector, and it is already doing pretty well. But I feel there is a huge scope going ahead also. A lot of value to be created in the gaming system, in the gaming sector, a lot of wealth to be created by all the people involved in the ecosystem. I feel that sector is really exciting. Unfortunately, we've not been able to work with any gaming sector startups, but hopefully, if your listeners and your viewers are watching this, anyone who has a gaming startup or an idea or something, we would be happy to work with them in the near term. So yes, I think gaming is one very good.
Gaming is more good. Okay. So like how you can help the people. Like for example, I have done a startup. Okay, just imagine. So how you can or your company will help, like except investment. So how you can help them or how you are going to guide me if I am doing a startup.
Yeah. So we have a very, very a beautiful process that we follow, a step-by-step kind of a process that we follow. Whenever we are working, like whenever I'm talking with a startup founder also, the most important gap which I've seen is that founders are from technology background, or they know how to build products, they know how to build technology, good technology, etc. But they lack the business and the finance acumen. Okay. Because startup cannot just be seen from a product point of view. It has a lot of things like marketing, sales, finance that covers the whole business sense. Okay. So that is where we come into the picture. Okay. So that is what we do when we get associated with a founder or with a startup, basically. So we help them formulate their whole 5 years vision, a proper strategy of how the founder is going to grow the business. What is his revenue model going to be like? How is he going to increase or grow his revenue model, revenues basically? What are the different costs that he or she is going to incur for the business? Not just for 1 month, not just for 3 months, it's for complete 5 years. So we go into very, very detailed. And all these things are backed by very, very, with utmost logic, reason, and rationale. So that's how we work with these founders. It's a complete 5 to 7 days program to prepare the business plan, and we go in complete detail. That is the first step that we take. Now, there are few startups who are not at the fundable stage today. So and they require a lot of advice to actually how to take things ahead. Like, how to get that initial traction, how to get those clients, how to make
uh,
a brand, how to make
uh,
your personal brand visible, how to get approached by people. So that's where we have our 3 month mentorship program. So I personally mentor these startup founders, and
uh,
we have these calls with them twice a month. We have calls with startup founders, and that's how. So it's for 3 months. So total 6 calls we have with them, official calls. Over and above that, obviously, we are there on normal calls regularly. But we go into complete details from the back end to the front end. We work completely where there is a gap, where you are having a problem as a founder, and then we try to overcome those problems, and we try to create strategies around them with what you can actually start making the business much more viable,
okay.
like that.
So, so means suppose that if that startup doesn't work or is that startup collapse, then
Sorry.
like if you have funded any startup, okay, and that startup collapse, then what will be the things happening?
So the things will nothing is going to happen. It is collapsed. It is shut. The business is shut. People lose their money. People definitely try to, the founders especially, they would definitely be in a not in a very healthy state. They would want to do something back again. They would want to start another startup again. But yes, the harsh truth is that people lose their money when a startup does not work. And more often than not, it happens because there is a proper record. I don't remember the percentage, but a very
Uh,
heavy percentage of the startups they fail. They really flop. In fact, it is close to 90% of the startups they fail, right? So it's not a easy thing. They fail because they lack that thing, that what am I supposed to do next? Or what is my first step? They invest a lot of their time, money, and energy into just building the product, into build product, but they don't know what to do next with the product. So
uh,
that's where a lot of people, misunderstand the whole journey of startup. It's not a
uh,
fancy thing. The term is fancy. People use it as a fancy thing, but it's not a fancy thing. At the end of the day, it's a business. You're supposed to uh, treat it also like little bit mentally as a business. So little. So that's where we come into the picture to at least help them survive that initial stage where it is difficult, and then yes, of course, from there on they get that probably the funds or probably the knowledge and the experience to take it ahead from there.
okay, okay, fine, fine. Yeah, like you explain the things very well. And like as we are in the end of our podcast, okay, like one last, very last question I have, okay, and I find this question very important. Okay,
Sure.
this is a question I ask with every guest. So my question is that like, what is a piece of advice or what is a suggestion you would like to give to the entrepreneurs or the startup or the investment, like those who are doing investing? So what is a piece of advice or your life lesson you would like to share with our audience?
So, a very like look like I'm not someone very senior or something that I can give some major kind of advice, but very important for young startup founders to understand is that the way they approach things, the way they approach a startup, it's not something that I leave my college and I start up with something. Okay, it's very good to hear something about Mark Zuckerberg, drop out and leaving college, etc. But it's easier said than done. That also he was a Harvard dropout. So not everyone is can claim to be a Harvard student also, leave alone a Harvard dropout. So you can't really get into all those things that I want to leave my college, I want to leave my studies, I don't want to get any kind of a work experience. I don't want to work under someone to raise that capital or to create that financial safety or that safety net for me, which I can invest in my startup at a later stage. So people don't want to put in that hard work at the early stage and just are, what do you say, are tempted by the word startup and to come into the startup ecosystem. It's become more of that trend, that FOMO kind of a thing, that I want to start up. So there are multiple startups which are thinking
Hello?
to start up something on their own. Yeah, now you can hear me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Sometimes like it has stopped. Yeah, you can continue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what I'm saying is there are many young students who are just wanting to start up for the sake of starting up, कुछ idea आया तो they want to start up, कुछ नया idea आया तो दूसरा start up. So they want to leave their education, they want to leave their, hustle behind, they want to leave the kind of hard work that you need to put to also learn some skills under someone which you cannot learn otherwise. They want to leave, they don't want to make that initial capital from job or from salary or something, build that capital and then to start up something. So it's very important to do all these basic things right. It's okay if you start up at 24, 25. You don't need to start up at 19 years old. Get some experience, earn some money, get your resources right, get your knowledge right, read certain, interact with multiple people, in and around your, not your circle, but a higher circle, in your job place, in your college, talk with people who have more knowledge than you. So that circle building is important. So people don't want to do that, which is not a good idea to just start up. Then you are going to get that 90% failure of startup.
Exactly.
The percentage of failure startups will always be high. Will always be up to 90. If you want to reduce it in India, we need to really have a vision and really need to follow some footsteps. Like you can't really just, सपने में कोई idea आया, you want to start up. So यार कल उठ के leave college, leave my engineering, leave my CA, leave my this MBA, and I want to start up. It does not work like that. So that many people are doing. People are getting attached to the idea of starting up. You know what I mean? So that should not happen.
Okay, fine. So thank you so much.
One of my advice, which I would like to give, which I'm noticing amongst the youth, and they are really very excited. There are some fantastic ideas and some very good energy they bring about in themselves. But at the same time, I feel, the time is not right. When you have zero money, but you have an idea. When you have zero experience, but you have an idea. When you have zero resources, but you have an idea. When you have zero contacts, but you have an idea. So you need to build your base first, get some money, get some contacts, get some resources, get some knowledge, get some good contacts. So that takes 3 to 4 years to build, 5 years. And then you start. That's a much better situation to be successful in what you're going to do.
Exactly.
That's important.
Fine. Yeah, like you gave a very good piece of suggestion, okay, or piece of advice, okay, or piece of message to the young people. Because whatever you said, okay, it is damn truth, okay. Nowadays, young entrepreneurs or young those sort of startup, they have this kind of mentality when they are getting into startup. So thank you so much. Okay, now it's time to end our podcast. Okay, thank you so much for giving your valuable time. Okay, and answering my all the valuable question in a very right and practical way. Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you, Rishabh. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.